Hello everybody and welcome to another Silver and Blood video. As some of you might know, the next limited banner is on its way. In fact, it is arriving in just 2 days. The vassal Dalcarlo is coming. She is an enchanter, her faction is the Bloodborne, and she will be joining us. In this video, we will be going over her kit, what she does, and where I believe she will shine best, just in case you might want to pull her. Well, there are good reasons to pull her, a lot of good reasons. But hey, I digress. So she will have her own limited banner where it'll be a 50% chance that she drops and a 50% chance that you get another unit, which is all fine and well. So I wanted us to go over her kit in this video. So she's an enchanter, she divines, basically fortune telling, I'd like to think. Even her skills point towards that. So we'll start with the basic attack. Her basic attack, she deals 150 attack damage to the target. Normal basic attack, that's all fine, that's all good. And then we shall go to her special. Her special, after every 4 basic attacks, she deals 300% attack, which is magic damage, to the target. Oh, that's something I didn't mention. She's a magic damage dealer, which if she's an enchanter, she deals magic. But yes, and this inflicts 2 stacks of continuous damage. So she's part of the damage over time faction, if you want to think of it that way. She deals damage over time. So she inflicts 2 stacks of continuous damage that lasts for 10 seconds. The person takes magic damage equal to 30% of attack from the caster once every 2 seconds. So if it lasts 10 seconds, she deals it 5 times for each stack. And it stacks up to 10 times. So she can have multiple stacks of damage over time on the target. I shall call it damage over time because I'm more used to it being called damage over time rather than it being called continuous damage. But hey, same thing, right? Same thing. What is it? Tomato, tomato? Yeah. So, talent, diamond spread. When Dalcarlo performs divination, inflicts 1 to 3 of the following effects. So, I'm guessing there's a mechanic where it's either you get 1 or you get 2 or you get 3. Maybe it's a 33% chance. I'm not quite sure. But we'll see how that works. We'll test it. So inflicts 1 to 3 of the following effects in sequence based on the number of ultimate casts. Okay, I see it. So if she casts 1 ultimate, she inflicts 1. If she casts 2, she inflicts 2. If she casts 3, she inflicts 3. So basically the more ultimates she casts, the more damage she deals effectively. So really driving her into the damage over time thing, her damage peaks over time, her damage increases over time. So of the effects that she'll inflict, the first one is the magician, which inflicts stun for 4 seconds. We all know how important stun is in the game. Those casters, those annoying casters. So stun is always a good thing. And then the king inflicts all damage down for 12 seconds. Fine, that's a debuff. Death inflicts all damage taken up for 12 seconds. Okay, fine. So those are both 2 debuffs. One decreases the damage the enemy deals, and then the other decreases the damage taken from the enemy. Or I mean, increases the damage taken by the enemy. So they're all debuffs on the enemy. This is actually important. I'll speak about it a bit later as to why this is actually important, because there are characters who deal more damage based on debuffs. Well, every character will deal more damage based on debuffs, but there are characters who have things on their kit that make them deal more damage if the unit has a debuff, more than just the debuff granting them the damage. So for an example, all damage taken up, maybe the percent for an example is 15%. There are characters who then say, okay, if you have a debuff, regardless of the 15% that I'm already dealing, I shall then deal more damage, which is baked into their kit. So the stun, the carrier stops and remains unable to cast an ultimate, specials, basic attacks, or move during the effect, which is, it stops the casters, just stuns the unit. All damage down, all damage dealt minus 15%. So bosses will deal 15% less damage, does not stack with similar effects, fine. All damage taken up, 15% damage taken on the enemy. So the enemy will take 15% more damage. And it does not stack with effects of the same type. That's all fine and well. So she's an enchanter, and as She's an enchanter, so basically a support. She supports, she has those 3 buffs, which are very useful. Fine, they're nothing compared to the buffs that a cappella provides, but hey, there's something. And then her ultimate, Wheel of Fortune. Performs 1 divination on enemies on a circle and flings 6 cards at them, prioritizing different targets, with each dealing 150% attack magic damage. Each subsequent ultimate cast increases the number of cards by 6 up to a maximum of 18. So she deals 6 at the first time, then 12, then 18. So her alt cost is actually 3. So this brings that it's a low alt cost. It will actually drive her into sort of casting that more often. Because if it was a 5 cost, having to cost it 3 times to be able to unlock all 3 of the effects would really be underwhelming. But it's a 3 cost ultimate, you can cast it multiple times to actually get it. Now, the one thing I have a question on is, I didn't play the beta, but my one question about her kit is there a specific order to the effects that her ultimate inflicts? Is it always that the first one is stun, and then the second one is the damage down? Because the important one for me is the stun. If she has the stun as the first ultimate, I shall know that if there are enemies casting an ultimate and I use my ultimate, I know a stun is coming 100% of the times. Rather than me casting an ultimate and the first one I get is a damage taken up, the enemies won't be stunned. So if the order is consistent, that the first one is a stun, and then the second time she casts it, it will be a stun and a damage taken down, and then the third time it will be a stun, a damage taken down, and a damage taken up, she can actually be very useful for me. So the units that come to mind for me when I think of who she will work best with, I think of damage over time specialists. Like Dalcarlo does deal damage over time, so the first thing you're going to think of is Transcendent Hati. While she's not a direct continuous damage dealer in the same way as Dalcarlo, she is very, very, I'd like to say, important to the continuous damage team. As her special's cooldown can be reduced when continuous damage effects are applied, regardless of the unit of applying them. So when Dalcarlo deals those damage over time, Transcendent Hati's special's cooldown is reduced. This is highlighted as potentially, and we all know that Transcendent Hati is potentially our highest source of single target damage, and it will only get higher the more debuffers there are in the team. And we know that Dalcarlo will apply more debuffs the more she casts her ultimate. So the first one is a stun, the second one is a debuff, the third one is a debuff. So this might actually be a very good team. So this might actually be a very good team for Dalcarlo with Transcendent Hati in it. And another and more debuff synergies with Transcendent Hati and Dalcarlo. You can play maybe Darkus as she applies debuffs. Triss applies debuffs as well. And then there's Joanne. I also believe she's going to work very well with Joanne, as Joanne applies the indiction debuff. And that indiction debuff, it accumulates, and when it accumulates, at a certain point, it stuns. So it could be a damage over time stun comp. As you've got Joanne applying stuns, you'll have Transcendent Hati applying stuns. So she has those avenues available to her for a damage over time team. I believe Agaras, Agaras, he has Burn, which is a damage over time too. So he also has that great synergy with Transcendent Hati that wherever there's a damage over time, the special is reduced. So for your caster or your damage dealer, it could be Agaras, and then you have your Enchanter being Dalcarlo with Transcendent Hati also in the team, and it can be a debuff damage over time team. How powerful the team will be, I'm not quite sure. How good she'll be also, I am not quite sure, but I am hoping as a character who will be limited for a certain amount of time, as we all know that limited banners do transfer to the standard banner after some time. But given the fact that she will be limited for a time, I believe that it would suit them better to have people spend money on the game, so making her powerful would be very helpful. Now, I know the people in the beta say that she wasn't the most powerful unit in the game, but I hope that that's something they fix. I know that they haven't fixed the kits of Lamia from beta as opposed to now, but I hope that when it comes to Dalcarlo, they do buff her or they do make her powerful. Or maybe she is powerful and we just didn't know. We just didn't we didn't discover it, because I believe that there's not that many people in the beta for some strategies to be identified. For an example, Sissia was believed to be a weak, let me not say weak, but not to be that powerful. But then we see that the summoner comp, the current meta comp that we have now, which is the summoner comp, revolves around Sissia activating the second part of her ultimate with Bella in the team. That's something that wasn't discovered in the beta, that it would be such a powerful and meta team, and it was discovered now. So even with Dalcarlo, not all hope is lost. So I don't want to take the beta power level to heart and say that, oh no, she's weak, she's not the unit for me. I believe that there are use cases that we haven't discovered. She could work in damage over time teams, and I know that Transcendent Hati is a transcendent character, and we might not all have Transcendent Hati. I certainly do not, but I believe that there could be teams regardless that could make her shine. Oh, my tongue's getting twisted a lot today. But yes, that's it from me, and that's it from the kit. I'm looking forward to Dalcarlo. 2 more days. I hope she's really good. She already is good looking, if you know what I mean. She really is. But hey, we'll see what happens with her. For more Silver and Blood content, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.